I love herbs, and today we have the pleasure of visiting Carol and Rob Stein in their herb garden. Carol, let's start right here.
Well, these are garlic chives, which I use in cooking. They're self-propagating. You need to control them.
Yes, if they flower, you're in trouble.
But they're pretty flowers.
Yes, they are. And then I love that purple ruffly thing back there you said was an ornamental.
It's an ornamental basil-related plant. I believe it's used in Japanese cooking. I just use it for decor.
It'd be gorgeous in bouquets also, though.
Yes, absolutely. You have to contain it because it's invasive.
Okay, good to know. And then behind there we have a type of mint.
Yeah, Kentucky kernel mint, which is great in mint julep.
Okay.
Need it for mint julep.
Yes, yes. And then I noticed that you've got the Tennessee wildflower there, the passion flower in a pot.
That was a gift from our daughter for one anniversary.
Nice. And you also have a pot of lemon verbena. Now, where do you winter that over at?
In the rec room, we have some grow lights. It tends to get very, very scraggly, but it is one of the most loved plants in the garden because, aside from using it in tea as a lemon flavor, I make lemon sorbet, lemon verbena sorbet, which is truly like perfume.
And I see some dill.
Well, everybody has to have dill in the garden. I use the flowering sections in salads, but also let some go to seed because it will self-seed. And in terms of, I make a lot of herb butters. I make a lot of things with herbs, but with the dill, I just take off the fronds here, strip them, put them into a Cuisinart with softened butter.
Salted or unsalted?
Unsalted, always unsalted. Turn it on. It comes out as a lump like this. Put it on a piece of wax paper and roll it so that pieces can be cut for fish.
You put it in the refrigerator or the freezer?
Freezer.
Okay.
Freezer.
And so essentially you could do that with any herb, the same technique.
Yes.
And it's kind of like playing around with what your personal taste.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And then behind here we have some pineapple sage and we have another basil. You have lots of varieties of basil. Love it.
Well, the thing is, I have grandkids in town who are addicted to pesto.
Oh, okay.
So no matter how much I make, industrial strength, you know, we use all the basil.
So Grandma Carol's the pesto queen, huh?
I guess.
And then what's in the pot right here?
That's Mexican oregano. And it has a very wonderful taste. It's a little soft. This is what you will find dried in bodegas. But it's hard to find the plants. It took Rob a period of time after the last one died.
Is that tender or do you?
It's, yes, here it's tender.
Okay. And the pineapple sage, are you making anything good with that?
Bouquets.
Bouquets? It's always good in lemonade and things like that too. Yes. All right, we're gonna go up here and check out your next little border.
Okay.
Carol, I see we have some flat leaf parsley. And then sorrel. Tell me about your soup you make with the sorrel.
Well, I make a French sorrel soup. I serve it either at room temperature or cold. It requires a lot of sorrel, which I used to be able to get in New York at the grocery store, but no longer, and certainly not down here. My sorrel soup calls for a pound of leaves, which is an awful lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And it's important to mention that to grow your herbs and to continue to have them flourish, we keep them, the flowers cut off, correct?
Correct. And this is a perennial.
Okay. And then we have a basil in front here.
Lettuce leaf basil. This is the classic basil with large format leaves.
One of my favorite things, and it's not grown very much, is the salad burnet.
Which tastes like cucumber.
Yes, very good in salads. And that's
Very
probably
good
where
in
it got
salad.
its name from. And then we have some French tarragon in front.
Which is not so easy to grow.
No, it's not in this area. It's too hot, and as you said, and we agreed that it needs lots of shade. And then we have some oregano.
Yes, we have, this is the Greek oregano. I use two types, and we grow both of them in cooking, Greek and Italian. Greek I like the best because a little softer, doesn't have as much of a bite.
I see you have some nasturtiums back here. Do you use the leaves as well as the?
I don't. I use just the flowers,
Okay.
but I probably should.
Do you use the capers then afterwards as well?
Have not.
Okay, those are good in salad as well. Just like the flowers are edible. So if you're making a real pretty lunch, they look awesome in a salad. And this is Rob. This is Carol's equal half.
Lesser half.
And we're going to talk about things that you enjoy more.
Absolutely.
The peppers.
I love the peppers, and this is our forest of purple peppers, and we call them purple peppers because the foliage, when it matures, will be pure purple, but as the peppers themselves come in, they turn all sorts of colors, white, purple, orange, and then red.
And they are edible.
And I have a garland here that is basically last year's crop
Okay.
that we hang in the kitchen. And then when the new crop comes in, we will take these, throw them into a food mill. That becomes our red pepper flakes for the
So-
following year.
Is it a hot pepper?
This is twice as hot as any commercial red pepper that
Oh,
you'll
wow.
buy.
Okay.
So when we see a recipe that calls for red pepper flakes, we have it if we're using this.
Well, great. And then I also see several types of basil coming up here, but we have the purple ruffle.
The purple ruffle is, not only is it pretty to look at, but we make our own vinegar. So we'll use the purple ruffle to not only impart flavor to the vinegar, but also a lovely pinkish purple color. So it's just a lovely product which we give away as a gift to friends.
And so there's more peppers. Are those a different kind we should talk
now,
about?
these are shishito peppers, and one of our fellow Herb Society members turned us on to this. This is a pepper that's absolutely wonderful, either green as you see it, or at the bottom.
I see the red there.
The red, and basically just cut it off the vine. Put some olive oil on it, maybe some salt and pepper to taste, and then just grill it. Throw it on the grill and char it. And once it's charred, it goes straight from the grill into your mouth. It needs no embellishment. It's a wonderful appetizer.
And tell me about the arugula.
The arugula is a very unusual type in that this arugula actually winters over here in Nashville, which is very unusual. And it was given to us as a gift by actually a faculty member at a course that I used to chair. He said it was special, and he was right. As you can see, it's growing everywhere that we let it, but it also self-seeds. So our main issue with the arugula is keeping it in bounds.
And of course, I feel not one herb garden is complete without bay.
Well, this is probably one of the greatest values for an herb garden. Anyone who's purchased herbs, who's purchased bay from the grocery, when you get over the shock of the price of the bay leaves, then you'll realize that paying $2.50 for a plant that will give you more than a lifetime supply of bay makes the most sense. And the only downside is that, yes, you have to take it in during the winter.
And we have another basil.
This is a relatively rare cultivar called New Guinea basil, and we love it because, first of all, it's very pretty with the purple and green foliage, but it also has wonderful flavor. It's going to get chest high. My wife, when she makes pesto, actually combines the lettuce leaf with the columnar, with the New Guinea, so that it's a more complex flavor in the pesto.
And one of my favorites is lovage back there.
Yes, well, I think lovage is one of the most underappreciated herbs in the garden.
I totally agree.
Of course, it's great for soups, stews, but it's great just to julienne the leaves and put them into a salad. One of my favorite things to do is to harvest the stalks, which are hollow, and there's no better way to drink a Bloody Mary than through a lovage straw.
And lovage has the flavor of celery, we need to mention.
It has the flavor of celery with a little pepper added onto it.
And it is a tough, if you cook the stalk, it's tough, so it's good in stews and soups, something that's going to cook for a long time.
Exactly. And it's a perennial, so it comes back year after year. And then right next door is also a newcomer this year for us. It's a padron pepper, which matches up with the shishito peppers that are relatively mild. The padron peppers carry about as much heat as I want to use for a pepper that I'm tasting. So we've decided that we're going to be filling that pepper with goat cheese or something to cut the heat.
Rob, I want to talk about that tall plant right there.
That's one of our favorites, actually. It's a Mexican tarragon. So long after the French tarragon sort of poops out in the heat, this Mexican tarragon is just going strong. It also is going to come up with a yellow flower late in October, so it's just about the last thing in the garden to flower. And it also has this vertical, upright growth pattern so that it looks pretty just as a landscaping plant. Not only is it functional as a culinary plant, but it also has visual benefit as well. And you can see how it looks nice up against the sage bergarten here as a foil, so they play off each other.
Well, Rob and Carol, I want to tell you thank you very much for sharing your pleasure with herbs. It's been wonderful, and I hope this kind of gets the itch in other people to use them culinary as well as in the landscape. Thank you again for letting us share your gardens.
Thank you.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.